Hello everyone and welcome back to more Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. The game that has us looking into the interconnecting societies of the kindred and all that fun stuff. Because it's the only real time we got to experience that was back in, well, mostly Bloodlines. Because Redemption was more of an action RPG, if anything, where we had us murdering lots of things. Lots of trying to remember what the slatchels, the Tamitsi creation things. We murdered a larger meal, a larger Mitzi, a lot of Ventru, a lot of alpha vampires that got in our way. Bloodlines, we also technically murdered a lot, but technically the body count was a lot less than Redemption. Which makes you question the whole... Well, here's the thing, Redemption, you didn't even really belong to the camera or the spot. But Bloodlines makes you question the said traditions. Forbidden to destroy now for thy kind, the righteous church belongeth only to thine elder. Like... Well, maybe that's different. Maybe you're not allowed to just... I don't know. It makes it sound like you're not allowed to kill each other, but at the same time... I'm not entirely sure. Because lots of times... Oh yeah, well, they're anarchists, go murder them. There's a bot, go murder them. Anyway. As for right now, though, Predator Al-Asime, Asame? I don't know, his name's difficult for me. Queeder. Sheriff of New York City is knocking at the door to your haven. But why is he knocking at the door to our haven? We haven't really done anything. Well, we did murder that one. That did cost us a bit of humanity. Because the game wouldn't let me feed up to that point. Because that was a thing. Second says more than a little shocking. If business with you, you'd either expect to see him right inside, or never see him coming at all. Yep, there he is on the other side of the people, patiently and politely waiting for you to let him in. Carefully unlock the door and face him in silence. I mean... Evening, may I come in? Simply stare at him. Your lack of answer doesn't faze him. Your lack of resistance as he starts walking inside his hours have been interpreted as permission. Once inside, starts looking around, you cautiously stay by the door. I haven't really had time to make this place your own yet, have you? It's like Langley's apartment through and through. Secluded study where nobody studies anything. Look at the birds on the shelves, obviously meant to impress guests, not to be read. They reveal nothing about the owner aside from the actor decided to be taken seriously as intellectual. It's one of the muffin smirks before putting away. Because remember, apparently he's actually a Torador. I still would paid him as a Bruja or Asimite. The phenomenology of spirit, and that's all of this garbage poetry. You can make a bet. If she's read more than 20 pages, I owe you $50 and a gallon of blood. Kind of place that self-professed hermits entomb themselves into suffer. Considering how much you have to run around these nights, you probably only use it to shelter from the sun and rest, right? Though he's always making an effort to come off as non-threatening as impossible, forget the first impression he made. Still see him as a fierce predator, trying hard not to expose his true colors. Since the familiar fight or flight responses, you struggle to find a diplomat answer to his last question. Well, he's a Torador, but yet he has offer abilities that don't seem that Torador-ish. Crater's barred by his silence, he doesn't let it show. He keeps walking around, toying with whatever catches his eye. Eventually speaks up again. Watching baseball lately? Glad to guess he's straight Mr. Red Sox fan. Now I just want you to talk in a more direct manner. Attempt to overcome the official reaction to him and reply as casually as you can. Okay, Gabe. That's... reply as casually as you can. You know... ... I think it's going back to the night when everything was changed forever. Wake up and hail up a buying SU, spending a night in the underground sweat box, unsure of what will happen next. Then this car ride, 3 strikes, a bloodthirsty crowd that blade, rebirth, baptized by fire, the frightened executioner made sure the flame scarred your spirit. Frightening, I mean. If you look into his face, you realize he's read the most reviews. Not in the mood to exchange legendaries, No animosity in his voice, he's just staying a fact. It's straight to the point, then. Only stops caring about his surroundings, turning all his attention to you and demanding the entirety of your attention in return. See, there's something I realized over the years. In large port, I may have been hired just to look menacingly with a sword, but my job is all about seeing through bonds and relationships. Camera would be safe as long as its members adhere to certain social contracts, making their dealings and affinities plain for everyone to see. That obviously remains a pipe dream. Oh, duh, no shit. Everyone's looking out for themselves. They're just playing the whole image that they're looking out for each other. They're the chameleon of born conspirators, only ambitious, anxious politicians, monsters in denial, all sorts of tragically broken individuals. They're driven by the desires that make them incompatible with the masquerade, compatible with prolonged survival of the camera, compatible with the methods I use to operate. So I'm doomed to be like a cop, constantly intolerant behind my back, maybe for a good reason. But immediately called for help whenever someone loses their tableware. Or like Agatha Christie protagonist, or like an Agatha Christie protagonist, outwardly assisted by everyone but constantly lied to about everyone's past and motivations, even if my failure to solve the mystery might be the end of us all. Oh jeez, I just didn't realize how bad my throat actually hurts. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now. It sounds like he's peacefully resigned to his fate, but it's easy to detect a tinge of regret in his voice, the voice belonging to someone who's had bigger ambitions than this. What broke him? Just see for this detective, though. Why done it? It's far more important than who done it or how done it. When you understand all the players and the mutual obligations, you usually understand every crime. The thing is, he just keeps talking, like... That's one of my biggest problems with this visual novel is we end up with characters like this that just keep talking and talking, and I have to constantly read all of it. So much monologuing. But of course the kindred know it, so they devise ways to make my job much harder. Just like conspiracies between 2 unrelated actors that depend on scratching each other's backs for mutual security. Or they enforce a blood bond to make someone unsuspected their thrall, boss serving their employer, or emperor serving a tyrant, just because one is regularly being forced to drink another's blood. So by the way, a blood bond is a mystically enforced relationship between a vampire and another, mortal or kindred. Drinking the blood of a vampire directly from the vein 3 times creates an intense loyalty in the drinker, resembling infatuation or obsession. Bond loses the grip of time, but is reinforced by repeated drinks from the donor vampire. Wouldn't that combined with the whole ghoul thing, since don't they require drinking your... Wouldn't most ghouls be blood bonded because of the whole thing? I mean, technically, maybe. What's Sophie seen to you? Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? How come you're being pushed to build your own coterie so fast? Those are decent questions. What does Sophie see in us? Apparently she sees... we're a lot like, you know... In fact, it is, quite frankly, a lot like Bloodlines, if you think about it. Why did the prince spare us, technically? Well, because Nine's interacted. But why did he keep sparing us? Because he realized we could be of use. It's that whole thing. Sophie realized we could be of use to her plans. Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? Well, the prince is probably such that we'll... you know, stuff. And that's a good question. Why are we being pushed to build our own coterie? Like, that one I'm not entirely sure on. Surrounded by unclear motivations, which you yourself don't understand. That unnerves me, and should unnerve you as well. It sort of does. You unnerve me? Why are you ill? Then what are your motivations? Finally you managed to raise your voice. Greater notice of the effort and smile softly. So you haven't gone mute since last time. I saw you. Good. Well, I'm here for a selfish reason. I need you to develop a rapport for you to better fulfill my obligations. Last time I met, I couldn't see you as my equal. Now you've been accepted into the camera, or what choice do I have? I understand you don't want to see my face again. I'm one of the faces of the New York City community, and as long as you're a part of it, it's going to be impossible to avoid me. Especially when I have business with you, and I do. As you might have guessed by now, one of my tasks is uncovering and understanding your bonds, and one of them might endanger our community. Last time I mentioned all, who's he talking about? Sophie? Kaiser? Someone from my coterie? This about Sophie? Grayer shakes his head. Sophie's fine, she's plotting something big, but I know it, and she knows I know it. But she's treading carefully as she should. No, they're not a major player. Aren't they? Reach the fire from underneath his coat passes you. This is their troublemaker. You open the fire and sees some printed photos. You free somebody to recognize the face and overwhelmed by a flattery press memory. Newman. Who? Benjamin Newman. That who made the last few years of your life a living hell. How? Such harassment, the mob, in the way he kept delegating all his obligations to you without ever letting you reap the fruits of your labor, the way he stole your soul. Goddamn prick. Look great expecting answers. Apparently your company is in trouble. Lots of financial irregularities, and Mr. Newman is all too happy to testify that the one employee who's decided to disappear is to blame. So as fishy as it gets, but your disappearance is being investigated, and a lot of people are searching for you. Draws attention to us, and as such, it must be stopped. Must be stopped? Sounds threatening. You dread thinking what he's planning. Right for you two to meet tomorrow, so you can straighten the situation out and say goodbye to the life you've forsaken. Arrange what? Yeah, you must look like saucers right now. Usually these matters are left to my discretion, and I can't think of an easier solution. The lost sheep repairs, take care of unfinished business, and disappears. Never be seen again. Nobody cares. Simple as clean. No contrived schemes, no unnecessary victims. And gives me an opportunity to learn more about you as I observe. When neonates interact with crime, we actually considered neonate, even by him. They call me a fledgling again. Interact with crime, they used to deal with their true natures are laid bare for everyone to see. Of course, he's invested in being kind to you. Always make it clear with self-serving intentions so that you don't start figuring them out yourself. Any objections? Any alternatives? So probably worse, you shake your head. Very well, I'll arrange a meeting and drive you there tomorrow. Better come with a load of bull that's easy to swallow. Pretty sure if we kill him, that would look bad too. Disappeared from the apartment, leaving you as confused as the last time he closed the door on you. Goddamn, you need things through. New man. Sometimes you just sit there in your haven, lost in your thoughts, thinking about how revenge is the dish best served cold. Well, shit. Alright, or stalker. Or there's that. Or there's that. Shit, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do now. I could do that. I could do that. I could also do that. Or that. Oh god, why did they have to make me make decisions? Oh wait, and that was already half of my night too, wasn't it? That means I only get away make one decision tonight. Oh god. You know what? Let's advance this like I planned to. One more visit to the Chantry of the Five Boroughs into Bagathon, who's starting to be surrounded by a smell of danger. There's too much to do and not enough time to do it all. Wednesday night you have to buy something. You fled as you ring the doorbell on the Cultburg store that serves as Agathon's haven. There's nothing about wars of the Tarot. Same sleep-deprived blonde woman you saw on your first visit opens the door for you. Kindred has their own servants, and Agathon seems to go for the tired, wicked mom type. Oh dear, come in. The woman disappears into the back room even as you close the door behind you. Locking in a better direction, you make your way upstairs. First you thought the chanting was part of the ritual soundtrack that plays in the shop every event night. If you're to the second floor, you realize that it's Agathon's voice. You come out just in time to see him standing in the middle of his ritual paraphernalia, with his wrist cut open over an iron stand holding a blood-red stone. Agathon chants, blood drips from the wound in his wrist onto the stone. It looks as if it's absorbed into it. It's probably not a good idea to interrupt blood ritual, so you wait in silence as Agathon finishes. A few minutes later, he opens his eyes and smiles ruefully. I've done so many of these rituals, I hope it's not too off-putting for you. Agathon smears a bit of his own blood over the wound, and you see it close. It looks like he's done this so often he barely pays attention to it anymore. I'm cool. Aren't vampires supposed to be into blood? I thought vampires were blood fetishes. Well, there you go. Unavoidably, we don't all advertise it, though. Agathon picks up the blood-red stone from its stand. This is a bloodstone. Could be useful. Doesn't seem inclined to elaborate. And we remember bloodstones. We nommed them a lot in Redemption. Then we had a whole bunch of blood pouches. Just a pouch full of blood that you uncork and drink from. And in Bloodlines we had that thing that refilled with blood at times. The odious chows, I believe. That was a thing. Anyway, let's go. Parks the stone leads you back down the stairs and outside to his car. Soon you're on your way to the Queens of Blushing Meadows, Corona Park. After parking the car, you follow Agathon on foot as he leads you deeper into the park. Come to a New York party in the middle of the night might have worried you when you were alive, but now it's normal. Someone tries to mug you, this means you have an opportunity to feed. Wonder if there's werewolves in the park. I doubt it. I don't expect werewolves. I don't really expect anything off other than vampires in this, really, which is sad. Like Bloodlines had us dealing with a lot of things out of the ordinary. I'm sure there were vampires, but there was also that ghost. There was one serial killer. Well, there was Gimbal with his prosthetics and butchering people. There was a serial killer vampire. There was werewolf. There was trying to think what else. Huh? Maybe not. Oh yeah, there was a gargoyle. That was the thing. Horrible creatures, but that was Shimizu stuff. More horrible creatures, more Shimizu stuff. Yeah. Hmm. Compared to Redemption, though, well, here's undead, spirits, golems, all sorts of things. If someone tries to mug you, it just means you have an opportunity to feed. Which apparently our thing does not say we really need to feed. As on what for purpose? Like it's only really been 2 red, like, you know, before that incident. Now it's hardly ever red. Agathon watch for purpose, though, as he knows exactly where to go. You see the units field, giant metal sculpture of Earth. Live so parkours can appreciate night. That. Sure, Agathon picks his ritual spot, but he must have a purpose in mind. The sculpture stands in the background, giving his preparations add dramatic weight. Stand watch while I perform the ritual. Reveal wherever the notes we seek are heal. I'll lose control of the incantation if you fail to keep me free of distractions. Not like that many people around. You sit down for a boring half-hour. Agathon mumbles and makes strange gestures, spilling drops of his blood at regular intervals. Outside the ritual's not particularly flashy. Agathon repeats a mantra under his breath and walks with Matrid. Steps until he stops and turns around, walking back. Just as if there's an invisible structure he must follow. Unseen patterns and limits govern his movements. As choreographies go, it doesn't look particularly difficult to learn, but you suspect there are hidden dimensions of skill and understanding involved. Lone drunken woman walks towards you, hard to say what she's doing in the part. She's a little older, white, dressed like a suburban divorcee. What's your friend doing? He's kinda hot. George is stirred by alcohol. She seems to have decided that you are this evening's entertainment. Hey you, stop being weird and talk to me. So when you turn to walk past you toward Agathon, this looks like just the kind of interruption that I was worried about. Stop. Where's my option to just nom her? Oh well. After the woman looked deeply into her eyes. Ran away. When looks at you wide-eyed, turns around, takes a few running steps. She's too drunk to stay up and stumbles to the ground, confused and scared. Suddenly a scream of rage started. You turn around just in time to see Agathon. Running at the woman on the ground, his expression contorted with hatred. Did the woman make enough noise to interfere with the ritual? That doesn't explain why he's in such a rage. We could intervene or don't intervene. Sorry, but I'm intervening. You step into Agathon and the woman and flip your hands up and attempt to calm down. What are you doing? This is not you, Agathon. I looked wide-eyed for a second. Sure, he'll attack you. You see him tensing for a punch. Suddenly snaps out, shaking his head, looking at the terrified drunken woman in disgust and embarrassment. Thank you. I'm so sorry you had to see that. I don't usually... Ah, the beast. The beast. I mean, he is using a lot of blood for blood magic and all that. It would make sense that would eventually snap. I know, what was that outburst? And that woman, that was just a coincidence. Something triggered a ward. Huh. I didn't think about that. I thought it was the beast first. We have to go now. He starts running towards his car and you do your best to follow. You stand there and more careful than most humans, you know, but now something's different and sweet. Honking at every car that gets your way. Driving towards the bronze and tries Agathon almost collides with another car. He's clearly not used to driving quickly, but something is alright as used for caution. The creature stops in front of a red tile apartment building. Agathon jumps out outside like that. So it's very blood moonish. And jumps out of the car and starts running, leaving you to take the keys from the ignition and close the doors. And then disappears up the stairs and you follow his agitated shouting. Who? Abulai, it's me, Javi. You get to the 5th floor, landing after a run that would have left your mortal self winded to find Agathon banging on an apartment door and fitting with his key ring. Few of the neighbors poke their heads out into the hallways, but nobody intervenes. Agathon striking snaps the door from running inside. Before entering what looks like the home of an old Mexican lady. Okay. There are portraits on the mantelpiece and a crucifix on the wall. Oh god, crucifixes, we're gonna die. Parts mirrors musty with old age and you detect a faint odor of vampiric blood. Sylvia, Silver, where are you? I'm delivering to find bycar by a blank in the corner of a sofa. Temperature's on with the sound is off. It looks like a Spanish language channel. And then tears the blanket, pulling away in a panic. There's an old woman waking up in bleary-eyed confusion. Well, this is a thing. I'm not sure I can do an old Spanish lady's voice accent. That's a bit beyond me. Darby, why are you barging in like this? Who's your friend? You're alive, Abula. And hugs slowly and then turns to you. You have to introduce yourself. I'll check the ward. Someone then trigger them and I'll have to see if they still work. Sarah snuggles deep into her blankets. This is vampire business, isn't it? Always when there's trouble, it's the vampires. I think I like her actually, though. Showed her star, clearly the masquerade hasn't held in this household. Man, we'll just turn into a joke. Why not? Yeah, sadly, Frankenstein's not far behind, anyway. I'm Tiffy. You must be his grandmother. Frankenstein's not real. He's made up by those people in Hollywood. It's about the girl came to visit. I could tell. Javier never good at keeping secrets, so much like his mother. Agatha rummaging around the small apartment as if he's scratching something on the walls. So he's doing that, writing on the walls with blood, making runes. I tell him to cover them with the photos and the paintings, but he won't listen. I have to do it myself. That's why there's a faint smell of vampire blood in the apartment. Worse, how can I find friends for tea? Now scratching so I have runes all over my walls. Doesn't look like a Christian home anymore. So the girl visit, what's her name, do you know? Yeah, that's right, a pretty name, I suppose. She's the kind of girl Agatha used to fall for. She's a vampire too, I expect. You a vampire? You're not a vampire too, you're supposed to suggest to relax uproariously, mirth conversing her age frame. Oh no, please don't say that. I'm an old woman. Laughing hurts. And returns to the living room, still agitated. Trying to send message. But don't let her find the notes first. You hurt my Abdullah. Glances meaningfully at the old woman. No, she won't. She just gave me a message for you, Johnny. Did the thing feel careful whoever you or clan or really potential loved ones? Agatha stares at Silver, stunned and confused. She's here to tell me that. Maybe that's good. Doesn't know she wants to hurt you. This here's the thing that the shelf told us not to do. You're not supposed to have connections with anyone from your past. It's bad. You don't do that. Once you become a vampire, you sever all your ties. So you go do vampire stuff. 'Cause mortal ties lead to breaking the masquerade. Basically. And she was a nice girl, I could tell. Oh, Abdullah. Definitely, let's go. This is all we can do here. Well, you say your goodbyes to see you back outside singing in Agatha's car. Catastrophe, the thing you stealth. The ward's trigger when a vampire enters the perimeter, so you knew it was there just as I was doing the ritual in the park. I'll take you to your haven. Agatha starts the car and begins to drive toward man. He appears agitated, emotions coursing on her stony face. Your grandmother is a very spirited woman. She's already have left my family. Came here from Mexico City when my parents were still alive. The kindred have always haunted my family. Every generation has its own tragedies. Everyone's gripping the steering wheel harder than he should, although he's back to his usual careful driving style. I'm sorry that this happened to your grandmother and that you have to fear for her safety. This is what it's like for all kindred who have mortal they love. Yeah, you shouldn't have ties. That too. And then there's also the fact that you will technically outlive pretty much everyone that you knew and loved because that whole vampire thing. Unless you do the stupid and embrace the people close to you. Thing is, if you don't want to lose your battle with the beast, you should probably hold on to your those relationships anyway, even when it hurts. drops you off in front of your haven. The experience leaves you with a disquieting thought. You met Agatha's grandmother under awkward circumstances, but clearly loves her very much. You don't know enough about the world of the kindred to say whether that's normal or not. You need to keep Agatha connected to the world in a way that feels alien for some of the other kindred you met. Perhaps there's a lesson in that. Regardless, though, it's time to go to sleep. Ah, jeez, though. Knock, knock. Yes, you said, but you don't know if the show from New York City would play along. I asked you have to do that. Which means we're only going to make one more decision tomorrow. Which, hell. Might just choose the investigate my stalker thing for that one. Because I think I got both Agathons and Hopes up to about the same level. But anyway, that's an old day, so, you know, same old drill. Well, night, I should say. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all, and have a nice day or night. Till next time.